Hi, welcome back to another video. Last time we talked about student loan forgiveness and options for students that were included in the first CARES Act. Now, the most recent proposed stimulus package, the HEROES Act, had a proposed version and a version that passed through the House. The first version of it, specific to student loans, was that it offered a $10,000 student loan relief for most student loan debt. But this second version that passed the House about a week and a half ago now put some requirements on that for both privately and federally held student loans. This new bill would only forgive those payments for borrowers that are under distress. So instead of sending this out to everyone that's holding a student loan, now they will qualify this a little bit, and your loan will only be forgiven if you meet the certain criteria. For a private student loan holder, you have to meet one of the following. One of the categories is that you have defaulted on a student loan already, and this typically means you're about 270 or more days from past due. Another category is if you had a delinquent payment, if you were at least 90 days past due, or your loan is already under forbearance or deferment. And for federal student loan holders to qualify, you have to meet at least one of these criteria. The first one being have a monthly payment due on a loan of $0 according to an income repayment plan or an income-based repayment plan. Or you're in default of your loan, you haven't paid in at least 270 days, or you're delinquent, meaning you're at least 90 days past due, or if your loan is currently in deferment or forbearance for a couple of reasons. Now, as with a lot of legislation, the initial proposal and the goals do change and vary from what's eventually voted on and what's eventually passed. It seemed that they were very ambitious with that initial attention-grabbing headlines, their goal of completely canceling out $10,000 of student debt for every single student. But now they've added some stipulation onto it, which kind of makes sense for the goals that they're trying to achieve here. They want to make sure that those who need this help the most are getting the help, and also to cut down on the overall spending on the bill and try to have this be something that can be voted on and passed through the Senate. Now, while these concessions and many others were made in the House version of this bill, a lot of Republican and other lawmakers have still said that this has no chance of passing. So when this gets to the Senate, it still will likely not pass. But this is being on the record and on the books as having passed through the House. And this could be, as I mentioned in the last video, a starting point for discussions that address the problem of student loan debt and that crisis that could possibly result from this. And some other minor details, things that were changed in this version of the bill, is in the original proposal, the federal student loan relief would only apply to certain federal loans. But now it seems like they've also expanded the definition of federal student loans to try to be more inclusive and to include most, if not all, types of federal student loans. And once again, they have tried to defer interest or defer payments on both private and federal student loans through at least September of 2021. So as always, this is still an ongoing discussion, and it still waits to be seen whether or not this new version of the bill will pass, or if lawmakers can compromise in other areas to try to keep this part of the bill related to student loan forgiveness. And in terms of relief and help for college students and those with student loans, the second round of stimulus checks proposal has included some more money for those with dependents. So if you were a college student who was a dependent, didn't qualify for that first round of stimulus checks, this might be a way for you to receive some of the money, or for your household to. And also the money that was granted for schools for those emergency education grants have slowly been pushed out through the various schools. A lot of institutions have distributed that money already or have deadlines that are coming up requiring students to either apply or to notify the school of need for aid. So if this is something that you want to look into, many schools will require you to file a FAFSA. If you have not done so already, that's a free federal student aid application that you can do online. But definitely check with your school, check with your school's financial aid department to see how your school is handling those grant payments. But that was a very quick update on the next chapter in the stimulus bills as it pertains to students and student loan debt. If you liked the video, thought this was useful, give this a like, stay subscribed to the channel if you haven't done so already. But we'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Peace out.